video, I'm going to be talking about the cardiovascular system. And by the end of this video, I hope that you will have a good understanding of what the cardiovascular system is, why it is so important, and how you can nourish and strengthen yours, because we all have one. We will be learning a little bit about the anatomy of the heart, what role emotions play, and what food, herbs, and practices will help you to gain and maintain a healthy cardiovascular system. The anatomy of the cardiovascular system includes the heart, blood vessels, and the lungs. All right, let's start with the heart. You know, when you think about the cardiovascular system, oftentimes the first thing that will come to your mind is the heart. And the heart sits to the left of your sternum and in between your lungs. And your left lung is actually a little bit smaller, so that way the heart can fit comfortably. While everybody's heart is a different size, on average, your heart is going to be about the size of your fist and weigh around 10 ounces. I want to show you here that the heart is divided into 4 chambers. You have the right atrium, the right ventricle, the left atrium, and the left ventricle. Deoxygenated blood is going to come into the heart, into the right atrium. From the right atrium into the right ventricle. The right ventricle sends that deoxygenated blood into your lungs to become oxygenated. And that now oxygenated blood comes from the lungs into the left atrium, down into the left ventricle. And the left ventricle pumps that oxygenated blood from your heart to the rest of your body. The heart has 4 valves located between the chambers and the arteries to prevent the flow of blood from going backwards. You know, we don't want the blood to go from the left ventricle up into the right atrium. That could cause a lot of problems. We want it to go from the left atrium to the left ventricle, out into the body, and that is the purpose that these valves help to serve. Moving on, we have the blood vessels. And blood vessels are what they sound like. They are these vessels that transport blood throughout the body. And these vessels include veins, arteries, and a network of capillaries. Arteries work to take that oxygenated blood from your heart and send it to the rest of your body. And veins work to bring deoxygenated blood from your body back into the heart to start the process of reoxygenating and distributing the blood. Capillaries are this network of tiny little blood vessels that help to connect the veins and the arteries to each other. And the primary function of them is to help exchange nutrients, oxygen, and waste products between blood and the surrounding tissues. The lungs are a very important organ in the cardiovascular system. And, you know, a great example of how when one system is affected, it affects other systems in the body. So when your cardiovascular system is affected, it's going to put pressure on the respiratory system. Same as when the respiratory system is affected, it is going to put pressure on the cardiovascular system. And as I said, the lungs receive deoxygenated blood from the right side of the heart and then deliver oxygenated blood to the left side of the heart to then be distributed throughout the body. So that is the role that the lungs are playing in the cardiovascular system. So, all right, we have an idea of the anatomy of the cardiovascular system and a little insight into how the physiology of that system works. But why? What are the functions of the cardiovascular system? It's pretty amazing. Your heart, your cardiovascular system is responsible for delivering oxygen and nutrients to every part of your body from your fingers to your toes, while simultaneously collecting wastes and bringing them to organs like your lungs or your kidneys or your bowels to remove those wastes from the body. That is what your cardiovascular system is doing. With every beat of your heart, you are pumping nutrients and oxygen to your body and helping to remove wastes. Some fun and some maybe not so fun facts about the heart and the cardiovascular system that I want to share with you are: the heart pumps 100 gallons of blood per hour. That is 1.5 gallons of blood per minute and around 2,000 gallons of blood a day that your heart is pumping through your body. Your blood makes up about 7% of your total body weight. Something that I think is really cool is that if you take care of your heart, if you treat it well, it is, I think, the only muscle that will not weaken with age. Not 100% on it being the only muscle, but one of the only muscles, if not, that does not deteriorate or weaken with age if you care for it. The not so fun fact is that heart attacks are more common on Mondays than they are any other day of the week. And it could be for numerous reasons, but sometimes it's, people are more lax on what they're eating through the weekend because they worked all week and they are treating themselves to some, Chick-fil-A. And also the stress that people can feel on Mondays when they have a full week ahead of them of a job that they may not even like going to. In traditional Chinese medicine, it is said that the heart houses the mind, and the emotion associated with the heart is joy. And so that makes a lot of sense to me that many heart attacks occur on Monday, because people are looking down the barrel of yet another week in a job that they do not like, to pay bills and buy things that they do not need. And I think that this can also serve as a great example of the impact that emotions can have on our health and well-being, or lack of health and well-being. Again, remember, we are mental, physical, and spiritual beings, and taking all three of these aspects into account is important for optimal vitality. So what impact can negative emotions have on the heart and the cardiovascular system? And negative emotions can include anger, anxiety, worry, stress, things like that. And oftentimes when you are experiencing these emotions, you will feel your heart rate increase. Sometimes you can feel your blood pressure elevate. And when those physiological changes are occurring, that can cause inflammation in the arteries. Negative emotions such as these can signal for the body to release stress hormones such as cortisol, and these stress hormones place extra work and burden onto the heart. As with most things in life, moderation can help to prevent long-term damage. It is natural and even necessary to experience emotions such as anger, grief, and depression, all of which place stress on our heart and the cardiovascular system. So having tools and support to process these emotions so that we may work through them is important to reduce the impact that these emotions can have on our entire system. If we are in a constant state of anger, anxiety, depression, etc., we are constantly putting stress on our body, and this will lead to deterioration and malfunction over time. On the other side of this coin, positive emotions offer benefits to the cardiovascular system. So some of these positive emotions can include gratitude, happiness, having fun, being excited, looking forward to something. And these positive emotions can work to counter the effect of the negative emotions. They can regulate our heartbeat, they can relax our muscles and our blood vessels, and they can improve circulation throughout the body. Having a positive outlook on life, feeling good about life and excited, increases the possibility of an individual making healthier lifestyle choices, such as eating healthy food or moving their body and exercising. How we think, how we feel, how we eat, and how we move plays a huge role in our overall health, and especially in the health and vitality of our cardiovascular system. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about diseases of the cardiovascular system, but I do want to bring awareness to some of the signs that your body will give you if you are experiencing cardiovascular stress. Again, I believe that learning how to tune into and listen to what our bodies are telling us is one of the best ways to prevent disease. Our bodies are always telling us what it needs. However, learning how to hear what it is saying takes some time, practice, and awareness. Some signs and symptoms that someone may experience when their cardiovascular system needs support includes heart palpitations, which are these sensations of a rapid pounding or fluttering heartbeat. You may experience shortness of breath or chest pains. Oftentimes these chest pains are going to be on the left side of your chest, but not always. Spontaneous sweating can be a sign of cardiovascular stress. dizziness, cold fingers and toes. Whenever I'm working with somebody and they have cold fingers or toes, I know that their cardiovascular system could use some support in delivering blood and nutrients to those areas. And also tingling and numb fingers or toes, or really any part of your body. So oftentimes that tingling sensation can be signal sending out that something is wrong, probably not receiving nutrients, and we want to look at the cardiovascular system. Some of the biggest contributors to heart disease include smoking, lack of exercise, poor nutrition, trans fats and processed sugars, and a sedentary lifestyle. Knowing what contributes to cardiovascular disease is a great way to prevent cardiovascular disease. And prevention is key when it comes to living and maintaining a vital life. Unfortunately, many Americans are making uninformed decisions about so many things. And this is one of the reasons that I am passionate about providing free education. Once we know better, we can choose to do better. Before moving on to how we can support the cardiovascular system with food and herbs and fun things like that, I want to summarize what we have learned so far. So far, we have learned a little bit about the anatomy of the cardiovascular system, a little bit about the heart and its chambers and valves. We've learned about the blood vessels, the veins, the arteries, the capillaries. We've gotten an idea of how negative and positive emotions can impact the cardiovascular system. We have learned about what can contribute to cardiovascular disease and the signs and symptoms that you can look for and tune into in case your cardiovascular system begins to speak to you. Now we're going to start talking about food and herbs and what food and herbs can help you to gain and maintain a healthy cardiovascular system. I tell people all of the time, herbs work with you, not for you. And what I mean by that is if you take herbs and wash them down with a Diet Coke or a Big Mac, you're possibly cutting the efficacy of that herb in half. But if the food that you choose to eat every day is nourishing and life-giving, that will pave the way for the herbs to come in and affect even greater change inside of your body. Because food is that foundation, we are going to start with that. There are some key nutrients that you want to make sure that you are getting from your food, and these include minerals, vitamins, and fatty acids. We're going to talk about minerals first. I am very passionate about minerals. I see the body, I see us as hydroelectric beings, and minerals are like these spark plugs that keep that electrical current flowing through us. Some of the most important minerals for the cardiovascular system are magnesium, potassium, and calcium. And then calcium needs vitamin D in order to be utilized properly by the body. These minerals help to regulate your blood pressure, help to maintain a healthy rhythm within your heart, helps to keep the arteries flexible, as well as help to strengthen the muscle that is the heart. One of the reasons that I appreciate the importance of supplementation is because now, these days, in the United States, the majority of the commercial food is grown in soils that have been stripped of nutrients. They are not very nutrient dense. So the food that is grown in those soils also do not offer the same amount of nutrients as they once did. That does not go for your local farmers that put a lot of work and love into tending the land. I highly recommend that if you can, connect with your local farmers, join a CSA, or visit a local farmers market and begin to get food that was not only grown locally, but grown with love and care. At Community Nourishment, I make a remedy called Bio Minerals. It's a remedy with 3 ingredients: Irish sea moss, bladderwrack, and burdock root. And these 3 herbs come together to offer your body all 102 minerals that it needs to thrive. And it's been a life changer for me. I've been taking it every day for about a year and a half now. I've got dozens of people working with this remedy, and the changes that they have seen in their body, some within a few weeks, some within a few months, are amazing. And you can see some of that if you go and visit Biominerals on the website, communitynourishment.org, and type it into the search bar. I believe a couple of people have left their reviews there for that product. And also visit the community feedback page to see testimonials from other people. Moving on to the vitamins that our cardiovascular system requires, some of the very important ones include vitamin D, which is a hormone. And again, vitamin D helps our body to break down and utilize calcium. Calcium needs vitamin D. Vitamin K, which helps to prevent the calcification of our arteries, build up plaque, blockage in our arteries. Vitamin K helps to prevent that. All of your B vitamins, but definitely B6, B9, and B12. Vitamin E, which helps to regulate the cholesterol levels in our blood and in our body, and vitamin C. Well-sourced omega-3 fatty acids are critical for heart health and for your entire cardiovascular system. The omega-3s help to slow down the buildup of plaque inside of your arteries. It helps to reduce inflammation that can cause damage to your blood vessels. And they also help to lower triglycerides in the blood. And triglycerides are a type of fat that can build up and cause blockages in your blood vessels. I really want to encourage you to do some research and start learning about and reading about food and what nutrients that different foods have to offer you. However, some, just to throw some out here for you of fruits that you can get these nutrients from, juicy fruits, leafy greens, carrots, broccoli, peppers, salmon, and tuna are some of the best sources for your omega-3s, chicken, turkey, flax seeds, chia seeds, walnuts, and almonds. All right. That's all I'm going to give to you. It's exciting to start learning about your food and what you are eating and what that food is giving your body. So I really hope that you'd spend some time doing that. All right, we are going to start talking about herbs now. I'm very excited. First, we are going to talk about hawthorn. I really love hawthorn. We work with the berries, the leaves, and the flowers, especially to support the cardiovascular system. There are different varieties of hawthorn. However, I work with the medicine from those in the Crataegus family. Hawthorn is a very abundant plant. She has so much medicine that she willingly shares with us. And she also reminds us to respect her and to respect the medicine that she offers with her very large thorns that she produces as well. These thorns carry a lot of symbolism, and for me, I recognize the significance of demanding respect, the tree offering us medicine, so much medicine, and at the same time demanding that we respect her. I also like the idea of, we are meant to be abundant. We are meant to share our abundance with the people around us, with boundaries, with discernment. And that's been a lesson that hawthorn has really helped me to learn, not only to learn, but also to start practicing in my own life. Energy, abundance, that stuff loves to come to and through us, but we should also use it wisely. Hawthorn has a cooling and slightly drying energy on the body. And that can work really well for relieving inflammation throughout the cardiovascular system. We spoke about inflammation within the blood vessels, and that can cause deterioration over time. And hawthorn helps to cool that inflammation off. It also opens the coronary arteries and improves blood flow to the heart muscle itself. The coronary artery is the artery that feeds the heart. So, the arteries that are going out and feeding the body, well, the heart muscle needs to be fed as well. And that is what the coronary artery is doing. And hawthorn helps to open the coronary arteries and improve the flow of blood to the heart. Hawthorn is not only improving the nutrition coming to the heart, but also to the entire body. This cooling energy can also help to relieve irritability, anxiety, restlessness, nervousness, and these more hot conditions of the nervous system. In some traditions, meat is prepared with hawthorn berries. It is said that the hawthorn berries assist in the digestion of and assimilation of lipids, and it helps the tissue of the digestive tract to absorb the nutrients from the meat. Hawthorn has been reported to help children with, or adults really, children or adults with ADD or, ADHD, these hyperactive quote unquote disorders. Really what those, a lot of contributing factors of those disorders is just a lot of heat in the body, maybe a lot of liver heat, too much high fructose corn syrup, the amount of teenagers now being diagnosed with fatty liver disease. So much of that is contributed to the high fructose corn syrup and the food-like products that we are being sold in this country. They really generate a lot of heat in the body, and that heat is going to affect the nervous system. Almost everything is going to affect the nervous system in one way or another. So the hawthorn plant, I've seen the berries, the leaves, and the flowers all help to alleviate some of that heat contributing to these conditions. These are just a few things that this amazing plant has to offer us. There's a lot more. Again, always do your own research. If you are wondering on where some resources that can help you to get started in your research, you can visit communitynourishment.org/resources and see a few of our favorite ones. And something that I want you to really keep in mind when learning about, how to strengthen the heart or the cardiovascular system is that by strengthening this system, you are directly and indirectly helping the entire body. This is the main system responsible for nourishing and taking care of the entire body. So everything that you do to support your heart and to support your cardiovascular system is in turn going to support your entire body. Next, I'm going to talk about Motherwort. Motherwort is a member of the mint family, and her Latin name is Leonoris cardiaca, and that translates to a heart of a lion. And like most herbs, Motherwort offers us physical, emotional, and spiritual support. I have grown Motherwort. I have worked with Motherwort. I love Motherwort. She grew in my garden. She grew very tall, and the leaves are super bitter, and the leaves and the flowers are mostly used in the medicine that is made with Motherwort. In my own life, Motherwort has helped me to set and maintain healthy boundaries. She has also helped me to connect my heart to my womb, invigorate my blood, calm my anxiety. Anytime that I choose to face a situation that makes me uncomfortable, I like working with Motherwort because she takes some of that pressure off of my chest and allows me to connect into my breath. I've seen pretty cool results working with Motherwort in both men and women. While it does help to connect our heart to our womb, I do believe that it also helps to move blood through the body. Motherwort is known as a cardiac tonic. And that means that she helps to strengthen and nourish the cardiovascular system. Motherwort also has a cooling, drying energy. And that cooling energy, again, is going to help to, if you have a lot of heat in your upper body, and you'll be able to tell by feeling anxious, stressed out, lots of thoughts going through your head, maybe your face is red, maybe you feel very hot. It's going to help to drain that heat from your upper body and distribute it throughout the rest of your body. Motherwort helps to soothe heart palpitations and just relax the blood vessels and promote the flow of blood. My two favorite ways to work with Motherwort are as a tea or a tisane or as a tincture. I don't really find the capsules to be very effective. When you are working with Motherwort for the womb, I think tea is going to be the most effective way. When you're working with Motherwort or even with the red face, if you have a lot of redness in your face, I think the tea would be better because the alcohol tincture can also carry some elements of heat in it. But if you're very anxious, stressed out, you feel tightness in your chest, I find that the tincture can work rapidly. Let's talk about linden now. Linden leaf and flower, those are the parts that are most often used in medicine. Linden is a member of the Tilia family and is another cardiovascular system herb. Let me rephrase that. Another herb that has an effect on the cardiovascular system that has a cooling energy. There is no such thing as a cardiovascular system herb or a respiratory system herb or a cancer herb. That those don't exist. What there are plants that can have physiological effects on body systems, on organs, and can help to remedy ailments and diseases. Linden contains flavonoids, and so does hawthorn berry. Lots of berries, I believe all berries contain flavonoids, and fruits and other herbs. And flavonoids, those chemical constituents that are nutrition, help to strengthen and restore the integrity of blood vessels. Every time that you are eating a handful of blueberries or drinking a cup of hawthorn and linden tea, you are helping to strengthen your blood vessels. One of my teachers refers to linden as a hug in a mug, and I think that that's a great description. Linden has this special ability to just wrap this feeling of warmth around you, which can be very helpful when you are experiencing grief or sorrow or working through trauma. You know, it's this special kind of peace and comfort that allows you to process while feeling calm and supported. You know, those big emotions, grief, fear, trauma, those need to move through our body and be processed by our minds and our bodies. And it's the support that plants can offer us to be able to go through that process as easily as we can blows my mind all of the time. Linden is also one of those herbs that I prefer to only work with her in tea or tincture. I don't find the capsules to be very effective. The tincture can help quickly, where the tea, I love tinctures. I make tinctures. I make so many tinctures. They are my craft. However, I do believe water to always be the superior method of getting medicine in our body, into our cells, into all of the fluids. Making a tea of hawthorn berry, linden leaf and flower, and motherwort. Anybody watching this, I really encourage you to try that. If you need help sourcing the herbs, I've got them. And I would love for you to experience these beings within yourself and for yourself. Now we are going to talk about some herbs that have more of a hot energy that they offer to the cardiovascular system. And the first one is going to be cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper is pretty well known and has been used traditionally for a long time to support the cardiovascular system. And it's pretty easy to incorporate this herb in your life. You can get the powdered cayenne pepper and use it to season your food. You can get cayenne capsules and take one of those a day. Or you can even keep a cayenne tincture on hand, as they have been shown to stop a heart attack. Cayenne pepper is said to help equally distribute blood and fluids throughout the body, and it could be because it really helps to open the pores of the skin and the vessels and stimulate movement. I'm really big on relaxation and movement throughout the body, because our body and everything that's going on inside of it is always in a constant state of action or flux. And when things get tight or blocked, that movement is not allowed to occur, and that can start to cause buildup of waste, and that causes a lot of problems. There are many problems that come with stagnation in the body. So cayenne pepper really helps to open our vessels up and get things moving properly. Some things that can contribute to unequal distribution of blood and fluids through our body can be overeating, eating too much, smoking, drugs, alcohol. If you're not having regular bowel movements, that can be a contributing factor. And really anything that causes any damage to the liver, or if your liver is not functioning optimally, that can also contribute to reduced or blocked blood flow in your body. So again, cayenne pepper really helps to stimulate that blood flow, bring it to the surface, remove obstructions from the capillary networks. And it's easy to bring cayenne pepper into your life and work with it. If you tend to already be pretty hot, especially with that redness in your face, it could help, but I would maybe couple it with linden or hawthorn berry or one of those more cooling herbs. It's important for you to take the time to set intention with medicine when you're working with it. Pay attention to how your body feels. Learn how to adjust the dose as needed. I say it all of the time. The difference between medicine and poison is dosage, and every single body is different. So what one person needs does not reflect what another person may need, or how an herb responds or reacts in one person's body does not reflect how it will do so in another person's body. And it's important to keep these things in mind, and that is one of the reasons why, you know, personal responsibility for your body and for what you're putting into it is very important to me. Because it's only we can truly tune into our bodies and listen to it and hear what it's asking us for and give it what it needs. Nobody else can do that for us. You know, people, plants, books, all of these things can help, but ultimately it is our responsibility to put those into motion. Ginger root is another warming herb that offers support to the cardiovascular system. A lot of times when people think about ginger, they think about the stomach and digestive issues. And I think that ginger serves as a great example of how, you know, ginger is not a stomach herb. Ginger is an herb and has these actions and this medicine to offer us that can work in many different ways. Ginger also has been used traditionally worldwide for culinary purposes and medicinal purposes. And I always find those herbs that you can find almost anywhere in the world that you go, to be very interesting and such a gift given to us. You are about to get a peek into my speech impediment as I try to pronounce a couple of constituents within ginger that help ginger to work as a natural blood thinner. And a couple of these constituents are gingerols, that one's easy, but the other one, shogaols, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's shogaols. As I said, I have a bit of an impediment, and there are some words that my mouth won't even attempt to pronounce, and that's one of them. But these constituents are believed to keep blood vessels from clotting. You know, oftentimes if you drink a lot of high fructose, soda, things with high fructose corn syrup, processed sugar, whether you're eating it or drinking it, things like that, substances like that can thicken your blood, kind of make it a little dirty. The blood in our body has the ability to clot for life-saving reasons. You know, if you are cut deeply and you are losing a lot of blood, the ability for your blood to clot and cause blockage can save your life so you don't bleed out. But if this is not one of those, you know, situations, your blood getting thick and clotting is only going to cause blockages that restrict blood flow, that restrict nutrient delivery, and that restrict the body's ability to get rid of wastes. Similar to cayenne, ginger has that ability to help relax the pores, relax the blood vessels, and it also can help to induce sweating. And sweating is so important for numerous reasons. We should all be breaking a sweat every now and again, preferably daily, if not a few times a week, because sweating, your skin is your largest detoxification organ. And so that's a great way to help get toxins and remove obstructions from your blood vessels and, you know, your lymph fluid, your extracellular fluid, your intracellular fluid, and ginger can really help to do that. The last herb that I'm going to speak about in this video is yarrow. Achillea millifolium. I hope that I'm pronouncing that correctly. Yarrow has been one of my favorite herbs since I first began herbalism. I have found, you know, contradictory information on the internet and even through a lot of my teachers on how to work with yarrow. So I have spent several years now working with this plant and getting to know this plant, and I work with the him. I feel like it has more of a masculine energy in my own ways. I like to work with yarrow for also inducing sweating. like ginger. But yarrow, I have seen, has this great ability to increase circulation to the peripherals, to the fingers and to the toes. And with your cardiovascular system, you want everything flowing, you want everything moving, you want your blood and your fluids to reach the tip of your fingers and down to your toes. It's very important. Yarrow is pretty well known to be very helpful in wound healing and has often been referred to as an herb for warriors. The Latin name Achillea millefolium was actually named after the warrior Achilles. You can dry the leaves and flowers of the yarrow plant and grind them into a powder and then use that powder to pack wounds, especially deep wounds. It works very well. And if you have ever grown yarrow for yourself, or if you do, or if you see a picture of yarrow, you may notice that the leaves of the plant actually resemble bandages. And I think that's really cool. I will make a video about the doctrine of signatures soon, but that is an example of the doctrine of signatures. Yarrow is known for its ability to help stop bleeding, like with the wounds. However, I have seen a lot of herbalists that work with yarrow for excessive menstrual bleeding, taking yarrow internally to help stop excessive menstrual bleeding. And I personally do not work with yarrow in that way, and I don't know that yarrow works very effectively that way because yarrow is so stimulating and moving blood and fluids throughout the body. Now, yarrow can also be helpful for fluid regulation in the body. You know, if you have too much blood somewhere, or too much fluid somewhere, or not enough, it supposedly helps to distribute and regulate those fluids. But I personally would not give somebody yarrow for excessive menstrual bleeding, at least not right here, right now, where I am with this plant. So that's everything that I have prepared for this class. Thank you so much for tuning in, for watching. If you have any questions, please give them to me. And what I will do is record myself answering these questions. I'll wait for a few of them to come in and then make short videos answering questions. You can email the questions to me at communitynourishment@gmail.com, or you can leave them in the comments. And if I have the time, I will actually get back to you in the comments. Otherwise, I will save your question for the video. But I really love hearing from you. I really love when people ask questions, when people are curious, but I'm really big on questioning everything. We should question everything. You should question me. I should question myself. We should all be doing that. So yeah, thank you. And I will see you in the next video.